Oh, and hey, all you beautiful people. I forgot to put you back in the green room. But that's here. I want to welcome everybody back to Power Hour. I am your host, Veronica Valentino, and I am here with my amazing co-host, Miss Renee Rand, who is coming to us from Las Vegas. Woohoo! Nice and warm there. It's still a little chilly here. So today we have a powerful and important conversation lined up. You know what? Don't miss it. Join us. We are live, as you can see. Invite your friends, sisters, daughters, colleagues, significant others, especially have the guys join us. It's also still Menopause Monday. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. So, with that all being said, once again, we're joined by our special guest, Mr. Robert Ferguson. He is a renowned clinical nutritionist. He is a researcher, a best-selling author, and an international speaker. He also currently serves on several national boards, including the Presidential Task Force on Obesity and the Health and Product Advisory Board for Zinzino. Woohoo! We love that too. So as we dive into a topic that I don't think this gets talked about at all. I'm sure, it has to have a major impact on your health. Yes. I'm actually a little skeeved about this too, knowing that this is inside my body. You laugh, Robert. But Robert will be breaking down what parasites actually are and why it matters for your health and mine, and what you should be asking your doctor. You know what? This episode is all about awareness, empowerment, and taking control of your health journey, and that's what we're doing here today. And you know what, with the right information, and Robert is going to give us that, so stay with us in this conversation. It's definitely a conversation you don't want to miss. So without further ado,
for sure,
Renee, you have something to say? You want to join us here?
No, I just want to say that I have so many friends and family and customers and patients through, all the different things that I do that talk about parasites all the time. So I'm excited about this today.
Yeah.
And one in particular that thinks that parasites are the cause of everything there is in your life. So I'm interested to see this and be able to share it, constantly with people that the question comes up. So can't wait.
Agreed. So Robert Ferguson, take it away.
Well, hello, everybody, and good to be here with you two amazing ladies as we talk about something that is, my publicist used to say, is talk aboutable, meaning you go to the beauty salon, people are talking about it. Yes. You hang out with enough people, especially those who are into health and wellness, the term will come up, parasites.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious, like, what have you guys heard about parasites in your own experience? Or like Renee, you mentioned you hear people that blame everything on parasites.
Everything on parasites. Everything that comes across their table, it's from parasites. From weight loss to every health issue to feeling good today, bad today. Everything has to do with parasites.
So I'm curious, when you hear people mention parasites, do you ever hear them say, like, have a folklore or some type of remedy that they say, if you want to get rid of parasites, do this?
Oh, yes. Yes. Everything from ivermectin to concoctions of every sort and kind, in the homeopathic and natural herbal remedies and all kinds of things. Yes.
Have you ever heard someone say that they saw it come out of them?
Yes. Okay. They check their poop constantly and they see it in the pile all the time.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard it all when it comes to parasites. I just don't know the response to be able to give them the accurate information to be able to share. That's why I'm so excited that we're doing this today.
Okay, well, we'll definitely go into it. So did we lose Veronica, or she just turned the lights off?
Oh, maybe she's in the basement, so maybe the lights are out. Could be. I'm sure she'll be back with us in a second.
Okay, so I'll lay the foundation to parasites, right? So parasites are real, and you can have parasites in your body.
Okay.
What was that?
It's dark and she's tripping over
God.
things.
Uh-oh. Well, we can hear you, Veronica. We just can't see you. Okay. So anyway, so you can have parasites in your body and not know it. Most of us do have parasites. Many of these parasites that are in our body can stay quiet, and others can actually affect your health. So when you hear people say that their health is compromised, Renee, that's very likely that does happen. But here's the thing that most people don't know is that the body decides whether these parasites remain harmless or if these parasites become a problem.
Okay.
So I would say to get us started, the real question is not, do I have parasites? Okay.
What you doing, Veronica? You're pounding the keys. We can hear you. We can't see you.
Okay, I feel like we're in a horror film.
Yes.
Okay, so she turned off her volume.
Okay.
All right. So hopefully we figure that out. That's never happened to me before.
No, me either.
Okay. So
Our mystery partner. All right, Veronica, we can hear you humming.
Veronica, we
Pounding on
can
the
hear
keyboard.
you. Yes.
We can't see
Maybe
you, but we can hear you.
Maybe she can hear us.
Oh, maybe. Let me
So
text
maybe
her.
our producer Gene can help out. Maybe call Veronica. We can.
Yeah, I'll jump in here real quick. She has no sound. She can't hear anything.
Well, we can hear her.
Yeah. I keep muting her and she keeps unmuting herself. But let me jump over and call her.
Okay.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
So I wonder,
because we're talking about parasites.
Yeah, I wonder, like, when that happens, like, is there? Yeah, technology is always interesting. Okay, so for those who are listening, sorry for we're having some technical challenges here, but the real question that I was about to get into is not, do I have parasites? The better question is, what kind of environment is my body in?
Okay.
So is it an environment where the problems can thrive or one where they struggle? And so the real story is that this is what matters more than anything, right? So I'll give you an example. I had a client come to me feeling sick. She was bloated, low energy, brain fog, trouble losing weight. She thought parasites might be the cause. So instead of guessing, we tested. And what we found was important. We found that she had high inflammation, like with the omega-6 to omega-3 balance was poor. Her body was out of balance. And we didn't start any kind of cleanse or anything crazy. We just focused on improving her internal environment, bring down the inflammation. And within weeks, her digestion improved, her energy increased, and her body began to respond again. And the point being that when you fix the environment, the body can begin to fix itself. So what are parasites? Parasites are organisms that live in or on your body, and they depend on you for survival. They take nutrients from you. They don't care about getting a benefit, giving you back a benefit. Now, the types of parasites that there's a whole bunch of them. Look like worms. You have external parasites that most people don't realize, like a lice or ticks. Those are actually parasites. There's protozoa, and I'm going to share some pictures as we move forward. But where these parasites come from is important to know because you want to reduce the likelihood of being exposed to them, right? Parasites often can enter the body through contaminated food or water, and that comes up a lot, Renee.
Okay.
If you undercook your meat, if you have unwashed fruit and vegetables, when you travel a lot, especially foreign, if you have a lot of pets, cats, dogs, things that go in and out of the house. And if you have poor hygiene, that increases the risk of you being exposed to parasites in your body.
Okay.
Now, there's some common parasites in the United States. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to share a picture. Let me see.
No, that'd be great.
Because it helps to kind of see what these things look like. All right.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
let me see. Oh, there you go. All right. So this is a parasite right here. And this thing can get in your body and be in your body. It's called Giardia. Giardia is one of the most common intestinal parasites. So it gets into your gut. And it usually gets in there because of contaminated water. And you hear people say, I went to Mexico and I'm telling you, I must have had a parasite. Well, you probably did. They're frequently seen mostly in kids. And again, people who travel a lot. And you know, the signs of it is that you feel bloated. You have a lot of gas, diarrhea. You feel fatigue. You're like, man, out of nowhere, you just feel just absolutely horrible. And so you'll notice that water is like contaminated water. Contaminated food is a place where a lot of people pick up parasites.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two is you have this parasite. And this sucker is one that I don't like. It's found in about 10 to 20% of people, even in developed countries like the United States. And some people don't have any symptoms. But then some people have extreme symptoms like digestive discomfort, gut health. If your gut health is not good and you run into this blastocystis hominis, right, then poor gut health welcomes it because it wants to be in an environment that is not healthy, that is inflamed. So what you start noticing, like as everybody keeps talking about parasites and getting rid of them, it's not like you can just take something and that's going to force them out. What you want to do is make sure you don't have an environment that's welcoming to them. When the environment is welcoming, meaning it's inflamed, which is most people, because they're out of balance, right? And we keep talking about environment in the cellular level, then those people are more likely to experience parasites. Now, this one you've probably heard of, pinworms. You guys ever heard of pinworms?
I haven't.
They're very common in kids. Like when my kids were little, I would share with them my detox drop and they would see us do seminars and we talk about it. And pinworms is something that's very common in kids and it can spread very easily. So when your kid goes to school and they're running around with a whole bunch of kids, then pinworms tend to show up. And one of the signs for pinworms is someone being itchy, like at night, right? So if the kid is itching a lot, usually like underarms, private area, don't be surprised if they got pinworms. So I tell kids, you got to make sure you clean up. Hygiene is very important because these things, man, when they find them, sometimes you can pull them out. And I've seen where they pull them out and there is not a pretty sight. And again, hygiene plays a huge role. Being around a lot of kids pick it up because they're out there touching everything. Kids will drink a little bit of water, contaminated water. They get like, who knows why kids eat mud, but they do things like that, right? And then you have
I remember Veronica said she ate dirt all the time. Yep. Well,
there you go. And then you have this one called Toxoplasma gondii. This parasite comes from cat litter and uncooked meat. Now, people don't tend to have symptoms, but about 10 to 15% of the people in the United States are exposed to this one often. Now, you guys have cats, right? One of you have cats?
Nope, no cats.
Okay. All right, so let's just cover a couple more. Tapeworms, hookworms.
Wow.
You guys, have you ever heard of these?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, these are parasites and they can be transmitted, okay, notice this again, through contaminated food. So a lot of times uncooked food, contaminated water. And when these things get in your body, like hookworms, you're tired. It's like you're losing weight out of nowhere, like what's going on. But again, they're looking for an environment to thrive, and they want to be in an inflammatory environment. And with what we know, most people on a cellular level being living with chronic low-grade inflammation, our bodies are designed mostly for these parasites to thrive. Okay, like in a big way. Now, if somebody said, okay, well, Robert, you've shown us some pictures of these things, they look nasty. Okay, what's a takeaway at this point? And I would say, well, many of us are exposed to parasites, but not everyone has to become sick. The body's condition plays a major role. And so the big picture is you want to reduce the inflammation in your body so that these parasites don't thrive. And when the environment is not one that they want, that's when those parasites tend to disappear. Okay,
awesome.
So I'll give you let me see. You can remove. Let me remove that from the stage. Okay. So I had this guy came to me, and he wanted to do my detox drop. And so I explained it to him. He decided to do it. And about a week or so goes by. He calls me on the phone, all excited. And he goes, dude, I gotta come see you. I gotta show you something. So he comes down. He's like 30 minutes away. Comes into my office, eyes all big. He goes, man, I lost 10 pounds. I feel great. And then he showed me a parasite that came out of his body.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So he did number 2. And, after a while, especially when you're going through, if you're more regular than you had been, people tend to look more. And there it was, it looked like a little spider looking thing. And it came right out of him.
Wow.
Because I'm telling you, when you cut down, so there is no drink this and it's going to make the parasites leave. So a lot of people will buy into these things because they're afraid. And they've bought into a lie, the folklore, and it keeps getting passed. The part that is real is that parasites are real. Like I knew someone who got a parasite and it eventually got into the brain. And they could see it under, like when they did an MRI or whatever, you could see the parasite moving around the brain. And they were like,
wow.
This thing was big. They had to get it out of there. So whenever when you're not feeling good, you want to start looking at everything. But the preventative part is to make sure that you're not inflamed, or do everything you can to reduce an environment that is not conducive to lower inflammation in the body.
Okay, great.
It's really interesting when you think about it, how it's like everything that we talk about ties into being in balance with omega-6 and 3. And if the world wasn't so out of balance, that wouldn't be the case. Right? So let me see. Can you bring up my slide? I just want to bring this slide up as I talk about inflammation. Okay. So if you look on the lady on my left, this red, that woman's inflamed. That's about 99% of every person in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, based on fatty acid profile. So we're out of balance. If you get in balance, you're in what we call an anti-inflammatory state. And as a result of that, you have less chronic illnesses that show up, to include parasites. So a parasite wants you to be in the red. They don't want to be in a body that's in the blue. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yes.
So any questions on that part?
No, that explains a lot so far.
Yeah. I mean, they are real and they do get into people, but you have more people that are fear mongering as it pertains to parasites than what's real. Right now, if I'm eating a lot of food that's raw, undercooked, then of course that increases the risk of you getting a parasite. And parasites are always looking to survive, right? They do the same thing in animals. They get in. If the environment is conducive to thriving, then that's a great host to be in. If your body is one that isn't designed for them to thrive, then they want to leave. And they will leave. And they'll leave through usually number 2, because a lot of parasites end up getting into your intestinal tract. And that's where they can thrive. Well, if your gut is in balance and you eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, you're getting a good amount of what they call prebiotics that comes from the fiber. Your gut is in balance, then a parasite doesn't want to be there, so it just works its way out. That's simple. All right. Are you back with us, Veronica? Can you? So you can hear us, but you can't.
Yeah. She's listening to us on Jean's phone.
Oh, got it. All right. Well, we gotta figure that out so that doesn't happen this time. So any other questions about it? Anything that came up, if you were thinking of someone?
Yeah, from Kathy. How significant is a parasite exposure risk in developed countries compared to public perception? In other words, how often are we looking at parasites being a challenge, like in the U.S.?
Very little. Parasites, very less than 20%.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. And again, a lot of parasites that people get, they get them through kids, because kids are out there running around interacting with a whole bunch of other kids. Not every kid has good hygiene. A lot of kids, I think even my kids, I think my daughter told me the other day she kissed, because they watch dogs. And so they take care of dogs and they dog sit. And so they got a whole bunch of dogs that they spend time with, and that's how they make some money. Well, if my kids are kissing those dogs in the mouth, then they increase the risk of a parasite. And if they're my kid, they increase the risk of bringing that parasite into my house.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I did my best to help them. I go, hey, I know you guys love dogs, and they love dogs, both of my daughters. But I don't know if you want to be kissing a dog in the mouth. I wouldn't recommend that.
All right. Well, we'll have to have a talk around here about that then, for sure.
I mean, think about it. Whatever a dog puts his mouth on.
That's true. Yeah.
It's now in the saliva, and it gets exchanged from that dog to whoever is wanting to get warm and cozy. And it gets inside that gut, and now you got some problems.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
Gail has a question, wants to know which type of parasites are most clinically prevalent in the U.S. population.
So the parasites that we went over today, like tapeworms, hookworms, are very popular. Undercooked meat, you have one that's called Toxoplasma gondii.
Right.
Let me see here. Maybe she missed that part, so I can let's bring that picture back up, Veronica. All right, so this is a very popular one.
Okay.
Giardia, in the States. All the ones that I shared are pretty popular in the States. Pinworms, way up there, just because of kids and where you can pick them up. And most of it is either contaminated water, which is not a big problem in the States. We have more of a problem with the interaction with animals and food that's uncooked or food that's contaminated. And you'll have many people that'll say, well, that's why I don't eat sushi. I go, you're less likely to get a parasite from sushi than you are when you go buy some meat, bring it home. And we all know somebody that when they cook, they don't cook the
They
food
want it
enough.
rare.
Yeah. So like for me, I eat well done, and there was something I did years ago. I think you guys will find this one interesting. And I almost forgot about this. I thought about it the other day. Is I took a mayonnaise jar. It was about a quarter filled, and I took some raw bacon and I put it in the mayonnaise jar. And then I closed the lid and put it in the window so the sun would hit it. One day, I saw something floating in that mayonnaise.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Scary thought.
And it was very scary. So cook your food, people. And if you want to experiment with that, do it. Because there's stuff in it.
That would be an interesting experiment for sure.
Yeah. When you see it move the way I saw it move, I was like,
That'd be
hell
scary.
no.
I'd be pretty terrified.
Oh. So we're eating it. But like I said, if you want to optimize and put your body in a position where you're less likely to have a negative experience, because parasites are everywhere.
Right.
I mean, there's fungi, we have C. diff in us right now. It's just that, we have a balance where C. diff doesn't become C. diff. So it's on us, it's in us. And that's why I just keep going back to like everybody, keep your body in an anti-inflammatory state, because all negative things from cancer, you name it, they thrive with inflammation. Thrive. So, any other questions?
It's interesting.
Which part? All of it?
Veronica, well, it's all interesting. It was interesting. I did a buffet yesterday with a friend, and at one of the big hotels, $60 per person buffet, one of those. So I decided all I'm going to eat yesterday was prime rib. So I had a plate full of prime rib I could barely carry to my table. And I was going to get protein, and I was going to enjoy my prime rib. It's my favorite cut of meat. And you're talking about, and I eat medium rare usually, not well done. I didn't see anything crawling around on it, but I did notice after eating all that meat today that I felt pretty icky this morning eating, because I don't eat that much meat. I eat a lot more vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see where that might be alarming.
Okay, so I want to stick there, and I know Veronica can chime in on this, but what you just shared, remember, like last time we were talking, I brought up lipopolysaccharides.
Yes.
So lipopolysaccharides is a bacteria produced in our gut, and it causes inflammation, and it will make you feel tired.
Right.
All the things that you're mentioning. So you go, okay, what causes that? Anytime you have a good amount of fat or a good amount of sugar or both, but without what you just said.
Okay, without protein.
Without fiber, which you said you didn't have much vegetables with it.
Right. Just
you have an increase of lipopolysaccharides.
Ah, interesting.
Without fiber. So when fiber is present, you have less lipopolysaccharides doing damage.
Gotcha.
When fiber is present.
So what preventative nutrition or lifestyle strategies do you recommend for maybe high risk groups, that people that would be more susceptible to parasites?
Get your body in an anti-inflammatory state.
Okay.
So like that person, I would say, get the balance test. and be consistent with taking your balance oil until you see you're in range. Omega-6 to 3 is in the green.
Right.
Do that. And remember, a half-life of balance oil is 35 hours.
Okay.
Right? And when you look at the half-life of other omega-3s, for instance, not even close.
Okay.
So
Because I had somebody else yesterday say, "Oh, I take prescription omega-3," and I said, "But it doesn't have any polyphenols in it."
yeah, and
You know,
prescription are
nothing.
they're less effective.
Ah, good to know. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
really good to know.
So we take a triglyceride form is way more effective. Prescription sounds like it would be better, but it's not. Not
Good to
even close.
know.
Not even close. All right. So you have
Very good to know.
triglyceride
Okay.
form and ethyl ester. So prescription, you're wasting your time and your money.
Okay, we have another question from Lenora. She says, "What are the top 3 evidence-based ways to create an internal environment that can resist infections?"
Well, the only way to 1,000% diagnose inflammation, the main one is a C-reactive protein test, or
Okay.
what they call it IL-6 test. And there's another one, but that's what your doctor can do, and they can confirm that you have inflammation. And so if you think of, let me see here. I'm going to show you because I can show you something. Let me see. All right. Thank you, Veronica. Okay. So I did a presentation titled Your Inflammation Score. And so when you get that test, the one in the middle where it says fire, that's what a C-reactive protein test will tell you, is that you have inflammation. You have a fire. If you get the IL-6, right, with your doctor, they will confirm that you have a fire. So what I asked my kids the other day, I go, what comes first, the fire or the smoke? And my little gate daughter, she's like, well, I think they're about the same. I go, yeah, but if we broke it down to the microsecond, one comes before the other. So we both agreed that the fire happens before the smoke.
Okay.
Okay. So the fire represents inflammation, Renee. You're inflamed. The smoke is the test, the CRP test, the IL-6 test. They diagnose you with inflammation after you have inflammation. The smoke is the test that tells us, yes, you have inflammation. Before that, you have the environment. That's the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, right? So if I go in your house and we look at your kitchen and you have grease all over the stove, you got a towel sitting right next to the eye that we're going to light the fire. The whole environment is set up for you to have inflammation, for you to have a fire. So you want to improve the environment so you reduce the likelihood of a fire. Because by the time you get the smoke and they test it, you've been living with the fire. So this is like, I believe that this right here will help people understand the importance of getting the environment to be anti-inflammatory. And so the balance test, to me, is one of the best things everybody can do to improve their environment so they reduce the risk of having a flyer. Woo! I think I did a good job on that. I think I explained that well.
You did a great job.
Okay. So ask her, was that Lorna? Yeah, like let us know was that explained well, because My goal is to get people to a place where they totally get the importance of environment inside of the cells, inside of the body.
That's amazing.
Okay.
You do such a good job, Robert, of explaining this in detail.
Well,
We
thank you.
appreciate all the time and effort that you put into all of your research and information that you are so willing to share. And what a blessing that is to so many people. And
Well,
we sure
thank you.
appreciate you for sure. Can you take medication to get rid of parasites?
No.
Okay, all right. So the
Nope.
ivermectin is a myth.
Well, I mean, let's look at what ivermectin does. I mean, it definitely doesn't cause inflammation. So
Okay.
it probably contributes toward an environment where a parasite doesn't want to be, where
Okay.
disease doesn't thrive, right? It's the environment. Like, bring up my screen again, my slide, Veronica. There you go. Thank you. So here's an
There you go.
example, right? So look at all the grease on that stove. The towel is hanging way too close to the fire. If you play and you got the heat up extremely high, well, that environment is prime for a fire, for inflammation to happen. And then you smell the smoke or eventually see it, which means you finally got tested after you already were inflamed. Improving
Right.
the environment would mean removing that towel, clean your stove, don't let the heat get too high, right? Another example. This happens to people. When I was a little kid, I'll never forget this family had bars on their windows and bars on their front door, and they had a fire breakout. And when they did the investigation, there was a circuit that was off, and it created a fire. And they can tell that because the fire people, when they investigate, they look at the environment. So what does that environment look like? And it was set up for them to have a fire. The smoke came, and by the time they realized the smoke was in the house, the fire was already the fire. And
Wow.
people lost their lives that night. And one more, like here in California, we're constantly giving our governor and this environment a challenge because we have these big fires that break out. And a lot of times the brush gets too bad. We have dry winds. Everything is just dry. And as a result of that, all it takes is a little bit of something negative that happens. Could be lightning, could be someone flipping a cigarette, and boom, we got a fire. And that's exactly what happens. And parasites thrive on that type of environment. Fires thrive on that type of environment. So you want to improve the environment on a cellular level, and we can test that. Because when your fatty acids are out of balance, then that sets the stage for increased risk of a fire.
That makes sense.
So the number one thing everybody could do is that. Now, check this out. And I don't know when this is going to happen. And I don't even know if I've shared this with you guys yet. But we have the balance oil, right? And there are people who give the balance oil to their pets. And people have shared anecdotally how their pets are walking better, gives them a new step, like, for older pets, older dogs, etc. And there's tests being done right now with the company. And I would say within a year, we'll have a line for pets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So improve the environment of the dog or the cat, which means reducing also the likelihood of the carrier of parasites.
Right. Well, I work with CBDs in pets all the time. And even that makes such an incredible difference on their health for all the general things.
All right, we can hear you now, Veronica. We heard your voice when you talked. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, any other questions for those who got to be a part of this?
Yes, Maya has a question. What are the biggest misconceptions patients have about parasites?
Oh man, there's so many of them. That you can take oregano and then the parasite's gone. That you can drink apple cider vinegar and kill the parasites. That you can consume something that automatically is going to go find the parasite and kill it. And that's just not going to, if you know what I mean? Use some critical thinking, and that is just not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Parasites thrive in a pro-inflammatory environment. If you have poor hygiene, if you eat horribly, you don't take care of yourself, you don't cook your food, then you are the kind of host where a parasite would thrive.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Christina has a question. Is there a test to determine if you have parasites?
I'm not familiar with the test that would confirm it. I don't believe that there's a test. But they've done things where you can see parasites. So you can go in, and what the doctors do is they look for symptoms, and they follow those symptoms to see if there's a parasite. So I would say yes, there's some protocol, right? Because they catch parasites in these kids.
Okay.
You know, tapeworms and pinworms, like they know they have them, you know, and one of the symptoms is kids itching all the time, itching around his bum. Maybe he didn't wipe his bum very well, or maybe he's got a parasite.
There you go.
So I'm sure you could Google that as far as like symptoms for parasites.
Sure.
And then work it backward.
Wow, this has been so informative today. Veronica, do we have, okay, Laura has another question. He already answered this. It says, what about eating sushi? Laura said she's always heard that was an easy way to get parasites.
Well, they say that because, all right, so here's the thing I would want everybody to know. We're consuming parasites. You got parasites. Most of us have parasites, and you'll never know you had one because it'll never create any problems. Okay. The ones that it creates problems in are the ones who have an environment that supports it causing problems. So most parasites that we have in us, they don't thrive. Like, I mean, I would assume I have a parasite.
Well, okay, except for high inflammation. And we know that in the United States, 98% of Americans have high inflammation. Mm-hmm. So we really could assume that everybody has parasites.
I would say most people have a parasite at most times of their life.
Okay.
Again, most of them don't create any problems. And that's the hard part of getting people to realize, like, okay, so what do you mean I have a parasite? We have parasites. You have like unhealthy bacteria that they call, and you have healthy bacteria in your gut. When you get more of the unhealthy bacteria, then you have dysbiosis. Means you're out of balance, and being out of balance in the gut triggers inflammation and creates a whole bunch of negatives. So there's pros and cons. It's like you have healthy cholesterol called HDL, and you have unhealthy. There's a balance, and everything is symbiotic and working together. The goal is that you don't want too much of the stuff that's not good, and you definitely don't want an environment where it can thrive and cause harm.
Okay. All right. Joe has a question. He says, I am a health nut, so to speak. Can you tell me what nutritional strategies are most effective for reducing symptomatic inflammation?
Okay, so number one, make sure you're getting an adequate amount of omega-3s. Number two, eat a good amount of polyphenols, which gives fruits and vegetables its colors. right? Bell peppers, red onions, oranges, apples. That's polyphenols. Extra virgin olive oil is a great way to help add to an anti-inflammatory environment. Get your balance test with omega-6 to omega-3 so that you know where you are, because oftentimes people don't even establish a baseline. Like they don't even know where they are, and they just assume that they're helping themselves. So get the test, and then if a person could afford it, without question, you would take balance oil every day. And then you'll know that that's working because your balance test will improve. You'll see it improve, right? Every 120 days, you can do another test and you can see that it improves. That's where I would start, and everybody would benefit.
All right, perfect. Oh no, Nicole just put in, how do omega-3 and omega-6 imbalances influence immune response in parasite infections?
Okay. So let me see. I had a picture. Can you bring up my slide again? Okay. So the far left where it says fuel equals inflammation score. So when you get your test, you actually get a score. And that test will tell you if you are more inflamed or if you're less inflamed. And that's what you want to have done. Can you put her question back up? I wanted to go back to it. So the question is from the call. How do omega-3 and omega-6 imbalances influence immune response in parasitic infections? Well, all infections thrive in the negative direction when there's inflammation. So if we all agree with that, that's a big thing to agree on. Then we want to do what is necessary to reduce or calm the inflammation. And one of the easiest things everybody can do is to improve their omega fatty acid balances as it pertains to less omega-6 and more omega-3. And when you have that, then you're more into an anti-inflammatory environment, which means from a parasite standpoint, less likely to spread, less likely for the negatives to thrive. But when you're out of balance, then it's like adding fuel to what becomes the fire. And that's where the fatty acid balances are very, very important.
Robert, you are just so amazing and so informative, and we appreciate you so very much. We've come to the end of our time today, but we want to make sure that everyone knows, if you want to check out Robert's information, go to dietfreelife.com. There is a plethora of information there on just about every kind of anything you want knowledge about. He has written a paper or done some research, or you can go on there. Also, check out his programs that he has to offer. He has an article on parasites, so you can even get that and print that out if you want some more information and where his research comes from. And like we said, like, share, spread the word, invite people to come join us. We're so excited that you joined us today. And we're just excited about seeing you next week, same time, same place. And thanks again, Robert. We really appreciate you. And we want everybody to have a fabulous week.
All right. Thank you very much. Until the next one.
Yay!